obviously looking at what's next then for Daniel, and as you mentioned, Alexander Usyk's name, we know there's been talks. We've seen Team Usyk come out saying that they've had talks. They'd like to try and stage that fight at Wembley. It's been mentioned. Is that what you're currently preparing Daniel for, and are you confident it will be Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois?
No, I'm not. No. Don't jump the guns. I haven't said it. That I'm not preparing Daniel for any fight as we speak. Yeah, Daniel will be back in the gym as from Monday coming. Yeah, okay. He's been on a little break. Daniel, he needs it to get well, recharge. Yeah, he's always in the gym training, always. Right. I'll start training Daniel. To our promoter, who is Frank Warren. To Daniel's father, who is the manager, tells me, this is who we're training for. This is who I want you to train Daniel for. Then I'm not, there is no name. Come on, man. We're living in a world where information is shared easily or gotten easily. I too am a fan of boxing, so I very on a screen, whether it's Instagram stuff, and then you see things, all different things pop up. Yeah, this WBO has asked Usyk that he's got to pop up. Yeah, this WBO has asked Usyk that he's got to fight. So so it could be Parker fighting. I'm not the promoter either. I'm not the manager either. So I'm not at liberty to really expand or tell you that I'm training Daniel for. No, I will be training Daniel. That's what we do. We train. Then eventually they will reveal to me who we're training for. Then I'll specifically tailor make it. I'm like a tailor. They make a suit to fit. So we train generally. Then come such time I'm told this is who you're going to be. Then I'll tailor make it, the training for that particular fighter.
And there you go, guys. There is Don Charles stating, for the record, he doesn't know who he is training Daniel Dubois for. Until he knows, he will know. And he trains all the time anyway. But until then, he does not know. And let me counterpunch. I think this is an act of, cover your own ass. Don't jump the gun, because once you heard people talking about the possibility of Daniel Dubois fighting Alexander Usyk, I think people automatically turned on Dubois. And I think it was because of the information that we weren't even sure on. Okay, we weren't sure that Daniel was going to fight Usyk. All we knew was Usyk called out Daniel, and Daniel, before the Parker fight called out Usyk. So then there were talks from Frank Warren that he could possibly go right into a unification with Alexander Usyk. And I think that's what ripped it wide open. And people were immediately disappointed just based on his absence in the fight. Okay. And then the story couldn't get straight. So we know all of that stuff. So with Don Charles is concerned, he's covering the idea. He's covering the possible possibility. Sometimes you can jump the gun. Sometimes you can talk too much and then come to find out that's not even what is going on. You know what I mean? So he doesn't know who it is. Like he said, and I think he said it may be Joseph Parker, fighting Alexander Usyk, which I wouldn't have a problem with. But if that's the case, I wouldn't employ Daniel Dubois to wait around to wait for that winner. He needs to stay busy, especially pulling out of a fight that he was intending on fighting. The worst thing could happen to any fighter. Ask Rocky Marciano. He said it best. Anytime these fighters, the thing that hurts them the most is inactivity. Okay. And you don't want Daniel to sit around like AJ. He don't have that AJ type of money or patience. You know what I mean? He has to go in and make his name known, because all it takes is that one disappointing incident, just like now, for people to turn on your ass. So I think Daniel Dubois, his best interest, since he is popped up on the scene on social media, telling us what it is, I think he needs to stay active. You know, I think definitely he needs to be into another fight. You know, it's easy for Daniel, though. If Daniel wanted to redeem himself, he would fight one of the guys like fight Caballero. You know what I mean? Take on that guy that's been wiping out guys. If he took on Caballero, everything about Joseph Parker, I promise you, would be forgiven. I promise you that. Nobody would say anything, ridicule, criticize, critique, whatever you want to call it. Nobody would have anything negative to say about Daniel Dubois if he chose to take on Caballero in this next fight. Oh, absolutely not. Why would they? You know, you probably would still have some local boys over there, you know what I mean, over in the Gold Coast, you know, probably, you know, justice for Joseph. But at the same time, if Joseph gets his opportunity, why would he want Daniel Dubois? He's fighting for the rest of the belts if he can get the mandatory against Usyk. So that fight could go off versus Daniel Dubois could keep himself busy taking on the WBC mandatory champion, Caballero. So I think that's what Daniel could do. That would be his comeback list of a lifetime. People wouldn't have anything to say once he picks that next Billy Badass, that next Dark Horse, that next guy that's considered the boogeyman. When he picks him and fights him and beats him, he's the man. Absolutely, positively. So Daniel, listen up. Hope you get this video. You guys tell me what you think of Don Charles stating he does not know, for the record, who Daniel Dubois is fighting. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.